I agree with President Trump and his team that there were serious problems in our bilateral economic relationship between China and the United States. What I don't support is the strategy of using sanctions and tariffs to try to bring about a solution. I think tariffs are bad. I think they hurt Chinese consumers. I think they hurt American consumers. And they also hurt American producers and Chinese producers. But I hope that now our negotiators can find a resolution so that we can both win from economic cooperation. It is striking in my country, in the United States, that there's a lot of talk about a new Cold War with China. Many politicians say this, many newscasters say this, and they're using this analogy from our competition with the Soviet Union to suggest that we are entering a new Cold War with China. And I believe that that analogy is the incorrect analogy. I think it distorts more than it reveals for a number of reasons. One, yes, the United States and China are both global powers, but they are not both military superpowers. The United States has way more military power than China does. Number two, there is an ideological dimension between the competition between China and the United States, but it is not near the kind of ideological competition we had between the Soviet Union and the United States during the Cold War. Number three, during the Cold War, we had almost no trade and investment between the Soviet Union and the United States. China today has lots of trade and lots of investment with the United States, so that is different. So I think the analogy is wrong, and I hope it doesn't become a self-fulfilling prophecy, that if we work together, we can avoid having a second Cold War. I do think Russia-Chinese relations are better now than they've been for a long, long time. I did not support President Trump's decision to raise tariffs on Chinese goods. I thought that was a wrong strategy. I also believe that in the long run, China and the United States have way more overlapping interests than China and Russia. And at the end of the day, all leaders, I believe, I used to work at the White House, I used to work for President Obama, and yes, personal relations matter a little bit, but at the end of the day, all leaders, whether they're China, Russia, or the United States, their job is to pursue their national interests. And I do not believe that conflict with the United States is in China's national interest. I think that would be very costly, especially economically. So I think a more sophisticated strategy, which by and large I think President Xi has, is to maintain good relationships with Putin, but also try to build better relations with President Trump and the United States. And I think that's achievable.